Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I will cut to the chase. This is a small video so I can show you guys what my mod setup for Oblivion is, pending starting the new Oblivion Let's Play. Now the reason I'm showing you this is so that you guys have an opportunity to sort of have a look at my mods that I've chosen, my load order, and sort of offer any criticisms or suggestions and point out any sort of incompatibilities and problems with any of the mods I've chosen, as well as suggest new mods that I might want to install and play with. The reason I'm showing you this is because, one, it would help to get the input of some of you guys who are more experienced at modding Morrowind than I am, and also because once this Let's Play starts, this entire everything, my mods, my load order and everything, they're gonna be set in stone. They're not going to be changed at all whatsoever. They're going to remain exactly as they are from start to finish. I've learned my lesson. I am not going to go fiddling around with mods halfway through the Let's Play, because that is ultimately what I think really broke the old installation. So once the Let's Play starts, everything stays exactly as it is. There will be no further changes. So basically now is your opportunity to make any suggestions you want, because beyond this point, it's going to stay exactly as it is. So my load orders here, I've already scrolled through that, so you can go back and pause the video if you need to have a closer look at it. I'm using obviously Oblivion Mod Manager because it's just better than Nexus Mod Manager for modding Oblivion with. And I've used Rybash as well. Before anyone asks, I have a bash patch right here. Mascar's Overhaul, by the way, is meant to be below the bash patch. It gives you an error message if you load it above it, in case anyone mentions that. That's meant to be like that. Now, obviously my load order's full of all the different compatibility patches and things like that. Some of which you will notice are actually deactivated. A whole bunch of them are. The reason for that is they've been included and merged into the bash patch, which means that Rybash deactivated them in the load order, so they're meant to be deactivated as well, so don't worry about that. But I've listed here what the actual mods I'm using are. The major big mods I'm using are obviously the unofficial Oblivion patch, Oscuro's Overhaul and Mascar's Overhaul, which are, believe it or not, actually totally compatible with one another. Better cities, unique landscapes. I've had some comments on the unique landscapes saying that you shouldn't use it because it makes the game more unstable, but frankly, I wouldn't play the game without unique landscapes. Along with Oscuro's Overhaul, that's probably the one mod which for me is a must-have whenever I play Oblivion. I'd rather not play Oblivion at all, in fact, than play without unique landscapes. So yeah, that's staying, I think, pretty much. I've got Gosh. I can't remember what that stands for, but it's basically it's a sound overhaul, like the one I have installed for Skyrim. It's a very recent mod as well. It came out, I think, late last year or early this year. I have Enhanced Economy, Kvatch Rebuilt, Reclaiming Sankator, and I know I'm kind of spoiling the quests and stuff that my character's going to be doing, but hey, I have Alternative Start, and the Oblivion Character Overhaul, Basic Primary Needs, and Deadly Reflex 5. I'm using that instead of Deadly Reflex 6 because, in a nutshell, I don't like what Deadly Reflex 6 does with the first-person camera. I think it looks really janky and horrible, and makes me feel a bit dizzy, actually, as well, to be honest with you, so I'm going with good old Deadly Reflex 5, which I've used plenty of times before. Yeah, so... Oh, phone. I'll leave it for now. Smaller mods I've got are Book Jackets, Oblivion, Map Marker Overhaul, Dynamic Map, Camping, Hoarfrost Castle, Gold Coin Bagger, Kioma's Journal mod, Lootable Merchant Chests, Realistic Force, Merchants Buy Stolen Goods, FOV Modifier, Droplit Torches, ORMs, Traveller Cloaks, and the Grass Overhaul. Now, feel free to make suggestions for new mods that I might be interested in. I kind of scoured the Nexus pretty thoroughly, but if there is anything I've missed, or anything you think might work well, then feel free to suggest it. I will say that The character I'm going to be playing is going to be a melee-orientated character, so don't bother suggesting things like magic mods, because there's just no point in having them, because I'm not really going to be using magic in the Let's Play, contrary to the last one. So, yeah, don't bother suggesting stuff like that. But if you know of any decent mods, particularly things like quest mods, actually, as well, that's I'm quite interested in. That would suit a melee character who, if you can't already tell by these two, will be doing the main quest, then feel free to suggest away. I had a look, like I said, I had a look at the Nexus, and I got the two quest mods which I felt fitted and were actually of a decent quality. Because to be honest with you, with a few very notable exceptions, most of the quest mods on the Oblivion Nexus are pretty fucking awful. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, these are the mods I'm using. This is the load order. And now is your opportunity, guys, to offer your input. So please do leave that in the comments. And that will allow me an opportunity to try and fix any mistakes I've made here before we actually start the Let's Play itself, before we create the new game and, create a save game. And start causing problems by editing things from that point onwards. I want everything to be completely and utterly polished and flawless and set in stone before we even begin, essentially, with this, just to completely minimize the risks of sort of save game corruption and just general problems like we had last time. So, yeah. Well, that's it, basically. So, thanks very much for watching, guys. Leave your input in the comments section, and I will see you soon.